Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good evening, District 120, Division I. So from today, I think Division I has started showing on the dashboard. For those of you who are not aware, we are in the 100th year of Toastmasters, 1924 to 2024. And this is the centennial year, the 100th year. And in the 100th year, District 120 is stepping into a new division. And I am here as your Division I director, the first division director of Division I, here to serve you all. I'm so glad in bringing this new initiative called Thrive, which will be a series of discussions, open talk, education session, tips and tricks, pitfalls, whatever you call it. All that will be there in these sessions. We have planned a series of sessions. And this is a forum to give spotlight and limelight to those who geared up to the district level in a shorter time. It doesn't matter whether they won or they lost, but how resilient they were and how short time they could make it to the district stage. So we bring that kind of people to this event. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce Toastmaster Athila Nabin. Toastmaster Athila Nabin is from Division G. I have seen her in a couple of division contests, and I admire her oratory skills a lot. And when I listen to her district level humorous speech, that day I decided I'm definitely bringing her to inspire you all. Athila Nabin is from HCL Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club. She's a software professional, a voracious reader. We all watched the movie Plus Two File, but instead of watching the movie, she went to read the book. She's that kind of a person. A passionate Toastmaster, ardent writer, and podcaster, she has written around 300 short stories, poems, and quotes, and has published a book, Mini Yarns, which is a collection of 100 nano stories. She's a division level contestant in ISC. She has been trying ISC for about 7 years, and she's the podium finisher in District 120 Humorous Speech Contest 2023-2024. In her second year of humorous attempt, she reached the district stage. That's an amazing feat, which I admire. And without any further ado, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Athila Nabin. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priya ma'am. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Friday evening.
Good
Thanks for
evening.
joining. Wonderful. As always, I'm going to begin with a question. How many of you think humor is not my cup of tea? Humor is not my cup of tea. If you feel so, you can raise your hand. No offense, coffee lover. Blame English, not me. I see pretty lot of hands raising up. Thanks for being honest. I think others are still thinking, humor me with your hands folded. Well, jokes apart. Believe it or not, I was of the same opinion that humor is not my cup of tea a couple of years back. As Priya ma'am said in the introduction, I've been trying, I'm a passionate Toastmaster, and I am trying to win the ISC contest, and I've failed 6 years straight in various levels. I'm very proud to say that I'm still trying again and again, like Vikram Vedalam story. Now, a couple of years back, Toastmaster Prakash Prem Kumar casually asked me, Akka, why don't you try trying a humorous speech contest? I said, that's not my cup of tea. And whenever they announce a humorous speech contest, I will be the first one to register the name, but as a contest master or as other role player. So that time he said, you must participate. Then who love not being challenged? Okay, I said, we've been trying anyway. Let's try this time. And luckily, it's not always luck, but we want a tinge of luck. And of course, with the lessons learned from all those years of failing at various levels in ISC contests, I reached the division stage in my first attempt. So trust me, if you think you are not humorous enough to try, humor is in you. You just have to take that mask of seriousness that you wear and give it a try. Believe it or not, the only thing that you cannot do is that you haven't tried it. Now, are you all clear? Have you popped that bubble of yours thinking that I cannot be a humorous speaker? If you feel so, can I hear the pop sound? Let me see how many bubbles are popped today. You can just unmute and say pop.
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 Pop. Ah, so many pops. I wish my kids hear that. They'd be excited. Now, we have popped the first bubble that we thought we cannot be a humorous speaker. Okay. Now that I want to give an attempt, I want to give a humorous speech, but what to talk about? Where do I get ideas? Again, that is also very simple. Look around with a different lens. Keep thinking. Read many jokes or listen to humorous speeches. There are n number of them in YouTube videos. We never know when the Cupid strikes its arrow of love at us, right? Just like that, we never know when the humorous idea will seed in our brain. Let me share one example. Mr. Toastmaster Deena Dayalan from our club has given a signature best humorous speech that was district, he was a district contestant just before the COVID, around 2019 and all. Do you know what the theme is? You won't believe. How many of you have traveled in a share auto? Chennai. Share auto. Have you ever compared that to a aeroplane classes? He compared the last seat from the driver to be the economic class, where you don't have enough space to keep your legs. You have to sit very holding your hands like this. But he compared the middle one to the business class. I mean, first the economic class, now the business class, where you have the luxury of leg room. You can keep your bags down and all. And there's two special seats reserved on two sides of the driver. That is a first class travel. You can see the front, you can see the side, you can relaxly hang around. So if you can imagine, it is a very simple concept that you see in your everyday life, a share auto ride. But how do you bring that humorously? How that idea strikes you? Can this be compared or this be narrated funnily? Brings a whole lot of difference. That is how your humorous speech occurs. That is the one idea that can be instilled in you and that can become a whole lot of humorous speech script. Now, have you believed that writing a humorous script can be simple? Can I hear a poof sound? Because you were imagining it to be very hard and strict. But it's actually very simple. Poof,
Poof.
poof, poof, poof.
Poof.
Great. Thank
Poof.
you. Wonderful. Okay. Now I have got a idea. I want to write that as a humorous script. But I can't think of jokes. They say humorous speech should be very funny. I don't get a joke. Really, in our life, we come across many situations. Sometimes it's all happy, sometimes it's all very sad. But be it an international speech contest or a humorous speech contest, for that speeches for that matter, always the personal story take the major value. My script this year for humorous speech, where I became the podium finisher of the district level contest is all about pregnancy. Always people think of pregnancy as a very serious one. Definitely is very serious. It's really hard on a mother. You would have seen your mom, sister, your wife. You can see a lot of women struggling a lot. Of course, I crossed that top twice with the blessings of Almighty. But why do we always complain? Why can't the pregnancy journey be narrated funnily? That was the thought in me. I'll tell you a couple of instances that made me write the script in funnily that might help you when you are trying to script it down. Maybe you can also think from that perspective. We know when a lady is pregnant, she's covered with lot of advices. They say this, they say that, they do, you do this, you do that. You hear a lot of advices. And I did hear a lot too. That was one instance. And when I was carrying my son, my then 4-year-old daughter came and asked me when I had taken her for a stroll in the park, she asked, Mommy, can boys have babies too? I was wondering, why is she asking like that? No, Kanna, why do you ask like that? Look at that uncle. I saw a man who had a belly bigger than mine. So these two instances said. So when I was thinking to narrate my pregnancy journey in the funny way, I connected these two dots and my script goes like this. When I used to narrate from the day of confirmation, I've come to almost the third trimester when my belly is very big, right? So I have narrated how people advise and predict pregnancy. That was all my previous part of the script. And this particular thesis, one uncle with a pot belly for more than a decade advised me for 1 hour. You should exercise regularly. You should sit on the floor and only eat. You should bend down and take things. That will help you normal delivery. My mind was like, had you done at least one of these, you would have delivered long ago. It's that simple. That I saw a man with a big belly. Then I related to my uh, journey of how people bombard us with advices. LinkedIn, a piece of joke is formed. So you can also think of your life occurrences like this and you can connect them and put it in a funny way. I'll give you one more example. Have you seen this pregnant women towards the date of delivery? They'll have a lot of food cravings in the first and towards the end that we want to eat a lot of things. And I've also crossed that last stage where I can hardly bend. I have struggled to clip my own toenails. So those two occurrences came to my mind. So then I had a connector. My script goes like that. Towards the date of delivery, I was eating too many crisps. So I asked my husband to keep it somewhere I couldn't reach. After a few minutes, I couldn't resist my temptation. I searched everywhere and finally found where my husband has kept it beyond my reach. Guess on the floor. So these are some intelligent jokes that you can bring out of your own life hardships. So now have you got some idea how to script things from your own life?
Yes.
Great, awesome. Now, some people do this mistake or have this confusion when they start writing the humorous speech. What is the difference between a stand-up comedy and a humorous speech? I'm sure people would have watched a lot of stand-up comedy. It won't be in a chronological order. Though it may revolve around theme, it may not necessarily. They are a string of one-liners or two-liner jokes. They are just brought together. It's not as a flow. I can say one example. One stand-up comedian may say, a newly married wife will tell, uh, honey, see, you're not calling me by darling, honey, sweetheart. Look at our next door uncle at the age of 60, he's still calling his wife Chalong, Kutti, Buchi. Then that husband said, I that uncle told me he forgot his wife's name. So rather than asking her what her name is, he rather started calling by all these syllables. And you know one thing? You should never marry a kangaroo and an elephant. Do you know why? There will be lot of holes all over Australia. So, I mean, elephant and a kangaroo, if they are married together, you can find lot of holes in Australia. So these are little jokes that they bring it together. Marriage, they connect that marriage joke with somewhere. But a humorous speech could revolve around one theme. It can be one life instance which you can narrate very funnily. If I could tell that example, the winner of this year's District 120 Humorous Champion has actually narrated one single journey where he traveled in a bus in his wife's place. So the entire journey he had beautifully scripted in such a way that for every line there was a humor. So please don't confuse between the stand-up comedy and the humorous speech. Are we good until here? Do you have any questions, or can we reserve the questions for a little later, Priya ma'am?
Either ways, whichever is comfortable for you, we can take
Yeah.
questions and also make it interactive. Or if you want to park it at the end, we can park it at the end.
Okay. Yeah. If anyone has any questions, you can raise your hand, or we'll do it towards the end of the session. Yeah. So how then? There are a lot of Subramanian
Yes.
has
Hi.
yeah.
I just had one question. See, what happens is you have a script, right, which is really humorous. But what happens at times is your facial expressions does not go along with the script. The sync does not work there, because of which whatever that you're trying to achieve may falter, right? So how do we, I mean, if you're conscious with your expressions, then it is well and good. But sometimes when somebody's like a very ordinary person, just like myself, how do we equip ourselves to work with the scripts and the expressions so that it aligns, so that whatever that we are trying to deliver reaches the audience? Because you say something really funny and you have a very, straight, plain face, that's not going to work. So how do we tackle that?
There are three cases in this. First, to answer your question, I would say practice.
Okay.
When do you falter? When you're not confident enough, when you fear you're gonna miss somewhere, or when you fear how the audience is going to take that, or when you're not confident enough, is when you're so focused on your content that you have a serious face. The best remedy for all this is to practice, practice, practice. Any winner, if you have asked, they would have practiced their script uncountable number of times. I remember for this contest, I was in hometown. I was all the way from Tirunelveli to Chennai. In my whole travel, I was telling the script again and again and again. Like, you can take, they say, no, like that. We have to be very confident with our script. So we know if I start there, I'm going to end here. That comes in a flow. So when you're confident enough, your facial expressions doesn't show that. Now, there are another thing also I want to say. When you present a humorous speech, the speaker should not laugh. You know, like Madan Babu, no, you should not laugh yourself and narrate the comedy. You should tell it on a flow, wait, give a pause, and the audience should receive that and laugh. This is the second category. And third, there is a very difficult category. Our jokes are good. We are confidently presenting. But how the audience receives. For me, the same script when I presented in one of the levels.
Mhm.
The audience didn't react at all. For a minute, I was wondering if I'm giving an international speech with a sensitive, emotional script or a humorous speech and it was very funny. I was confident enough, okay, I could hear mumbled laughter here and there. But that shouldn't deter your confidence. You will be taken for a minute. You're presenting and the people are damn serious as if someone is sealed their lips and they're very serious listening to you. Your humor, they're very serious. This can also happen, but believe in yourself. You just go to with your flow. You present your best. The rest are all with the judges.
Sure. That was
Does that
helpful.
answer several?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
Yes, Yavana Rajan.
Hi, Athila. When we start writing a humorous script, when we write with that conviction that yes, this is going to work, at that time, yes, we feel that yes, this humor is working. The next day, if we read the same, sometimes we feel that yes, the humor is working, or sometimes the next day when we take, again, we feel that whether this humor will work out or not. Again, it gives an opinion that it is working. Again, it gives an opinion that it may not work. So how do you judge that, yes, this is going to work? Whether should I have it or I shouldn't have it? How do you zero in on the joke which you have kept or the humor which you have finalized?
How when you start writing a love letter, Yavana, I'm sure boys would have, or anyone who fell in love. Have you succeeded in the first draft? You write something, you pour out something, then yeah, this is what this is good. Then you write something, right? This always happens. Be it a love letter, be it a humorous piece. Uh, you conceive the idea in your mind. From then on, believe it or not, you'll start getting ideas from here and there. Somehow, when you see something, you can relate to your title. Or I would say, funnily, I would say, bathroom is my new body because whenever I sit there, whenever I bath there, only some ideas will come in my mind. So when they come in, you write everything down. Trust me, this is also the way I prepare for international speech contest. The first draft always doesn't work. And when you write something, write in advance. If you're very serious about writing your attempting at the contest, I would suggest you try months. Start writing the script even before months before the contest. Write it, keep it aside, forget it for 2 days. Seriously. Then after 2 days, when you read, you will know, depends on your mood and all, you will know this content is good, this content is bad. And you can also think and improvise. You can think where this can be tweaked a little, or this particular paragraph has only 2 jokes in it. Can I twist it a little? Can I bring some humor in the end? That can make happen. And then when you again rehearse, you know the timing is very strict. I have failed one stage. There was a wonderful script. I topped, but the judges, since they couldn't consider the timing, they gave first. But due to I exceeded the time limit, they had to disqualify me. So this has happened. So when you rehearse yourself and when you see the timings, you know a lot of additional scripts are there. So that cutting, wetting, touching, putting, tinkering, all those we say, no, to beautify your script. So Yavana, to answer your question, um, try again and again. Don't go with first draft, second draft. You go n number of versions and finalize. And then before a few versions, you can try sharing or reviewing back with your mentor. The best place, the best place where you can attempt all this is your club, right? You can express that in front of your club members, get their feedback. One advantage with Toastmasters is you can access multiple clubs, right? You can present your speech or you don't have to necessarily go to the other clubs and practice, but you have a close set of friends in Toastmasters who can be honest with you, who can give you positive feedback to make it better. You can get mentorship from the previous contest winners. When you present it to them, they will suggest you this can be improved little here, this can be made a little funny. Why don't you try that? There will be a lot of positive feedback coming in, Yavana. So try multiple drafts, get it reviewed with your family, friends, or Toastmasters.
Thank you so much. That really helped. Thanks, Toastmaster Adila.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go for the other questions. But I would like to present, since you're all planning to compete, we'll also quickly see what are the criteria that the judges keep in consideration. Okay, I'm just okay. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
So this is the humorous speech contest judges guide and ballot. This should be your mantra. This should be your. You're very serious about taking your humorous journey into a winner. You should consider all these. So speech development, and it has a whopping 15 points. This sentence alone will go like this. It falls under any assessment or any judging will majorly fall under contest delivery and language. So content, content. Content in itself is speech development. How is your structure? We all know the structure. Any speech that we should have opening, a body, and a conclusion. And here I would also say, try to capture your audience with a joke within the first few minutes. That's how they normally say, and that's the thumb rule that works every time. I've seen you have to set the context within the first 30 seconds of your entry. You ensure your audience that you're going to make them sick with laughter, right? There's going to be a laughter riot because of you. So you have to structure your speech in such a way that it has all these, and make sure your title is also funny enough that even when the contest master reads your title, it starts giggles among your audience. And when I say structure, be it chronological, it can be one life incident or few related life incidents put together in a funny way. So that is how, and and there's no not necessarily message needed in humor speech, whereas international speech contest is definitely, I personally feel message is key for international, but for humorous, forget all the logic like the typical Indian masala horror movie. No, it's actually horror, but you laugh, right? So there is no logic and all behind that. It's very simple, and humorous is all relatable to that. Now, effectiveness, achievement of purpose, interest, and reception. How effective your content is for the audience. The purpose is to make them laugh. It's not in an offensive way. So definitely avoid that. It should not be targeted to a particular group of people and all. So how effectiveness, how interesting it is to the audience, and how they are receiving it, it all comes under effectiveness. Speech value, definitely how unique your idea is. And how many original thoughts it can these days with all these technology, you can easily find if someone is telling from the bottom of their heart, or they have stolen it from Hollywood movies somewhere. I'm just kidding, but yes, the original thought, when you narrate your own life instances in a very funny way, it becomes the original thought. Everyone's life is unique, everyone is unique, and everyone has their own life lessons and funny moments in their life, right? So that is how the speech value comes in. Audience reception. So we can see, you won't believe, I had prepared my speech for nearly 6.5 minutes. But one thing that I failed to notice, I didn't expect people would be laughing so much. That when I had, because in one of the previous levels, as I told you, there was hardly a laughter. So I had practiced it for 6 minutes, 30 seconds just to ensure that I'm not time disqualified. I did consider the pauses for laughter if they are going to. But when I presented, obviously in the big stage, people will all be in a very good mood to hear your humorous speech, and they start to laugh. The entire mood will be very happy, very merry, very full, that people start laughing. So towards the end, I was not sure if I was I'm disqualified again. Making everyone laugh, my heart was a bit tense if I'm gonna win or not. So audience reception. So how much laughter you're getting in response, that all comes under this content. So ensure your content is funny enough to trigger that uh, jokes or trigger that happy moments, trigger that laughter in your audience. So these all come under content. Now, delivery is, is what, however strong your content is, the way you deliver, especially for humorous speech, it reaches your audience more when you give the gestures. You make how a child cries, or for example, in the very same script that I told you, when the potbelly uncle asked you to exercise. So I did act like as I was exercising. So bend down and take things. I bent down and take things. How they exactly asked us to. So you should speak along. Your body should speak along with you. It and don't be very artificial in doing it. I've seen some people, for the purpose of body language, they try to put in. Please do not follow it. Your script should be in such a way that your body speaks along with you, and that can bring a quick laughter. So one thing is, in the shift joke, I said I made a gesture that my husband has kept it somewhere I couldn't reach. So, and I showed my hands up. So everyone was looking up, and then after a pause, I said, on the floor. So people were expecting somewhere there. So it's in their mind that he has kept somewhere on the attic or somewhere. But then when I suddenly said on the floor, then they could realize my belly was big enough for me to not to bend and take it. So that can bring a whole lot of change in your audience reception. So that's how the body gestures play a role. Voice. You should be very loud enough and at the same time clear enough. And your your vocal variety plays a lot. You can try mimicking. For instance, in my speech, in the first trimester, women would usually be very hungry. So I imitated going to a hotel where the server or the waiter recites the menu. Odi idli, sambar idli, chilli idli, appam, idiyappam, uttappam. So when you speak like this, when you change your voice, or when you follow how those guys speak, and that would add value to your speech. You can say, like, when I was narrating to you, you can say how a baby speaks. Mommy, mommy, can boys carry babies? So that makes a difference. If I say, mommy, mommy, can I have baby? Can boys have babies? That doesn't work. So if you put a light voice modulation there, you change your voice a little. Uh, and if you want to narrate something from a woman's perspective, you can change your voice a little and try to sound like a girl. So these all makes a major difference. So voice modulation, the volume. No, this also holds good for international speech contest. So somewhere when you're talking very serious, your voice can be uh, why this so the script can be, why this happened to me? What will I do? Why this happened to me? What will I do? If you want to be serious enough, you can make it feel, why did this happen to me? What will I do? Your face, your voice, all matters to reach the heart of the audience. Then manner, directness, assurance, and system. This is what your question can also come, Subramanian, if I'm not sure, if I'm not wrong. So you said how your facial expression, and how if you're very rigid enough, if if you are giving the impression that you're very serious, that will not work. Your manner itself should be enthusiastic. It should be very confident. It should be very assuring. It should be very direct. So that comes in the delivery. Language. Language, though I heard in the recent years, we do not have, we do have the permission to add the taboo topics as well. But I would say your speech language can be more appropriate. Um, not, it should be for all the audience. You should definitely consider your audience. It should be very common one that every people can relate to. Like in a hostel day comedy or husband wife comedies are very common. The other things I've seen recent these years is someone shared their childhood journey. Someone shared their hostel journey, boys hostel. So these are different themes that can be relatable to most of the people. Definitely, everyone would have crossed our childhood days. Definitely, anyone would have the experience of staying in a hostel. So these are all very gender. It's not very gender specific. It's not to a particular age or group of people. So it can be very generic. So that's it. Correctness. This is very, very key. Grammar, pronunciation, and word selection. English is a plethora of words. So make the best use of it. I would suggest you give your script to be reviewed by someone, by your mentor or someone who has a great knowledge so they can correct the grammar mistake. The people I've seen when some people use very beautiful words, but the grammar might not be correct. So a very good speech can become a great speech when it comprises of all this. The pronunciation is very key because one pronunciation can even change anything. I remember a couple of instances when I was telling a speech, when I was giving a speech to my club, I say MTC bus when I was standing in a MTC bus. This is my script. So my evaluator heard it like when I was standing in a empty seated bus. MTC, I meant this Madras Transport Corporation. I don't know Municipal Transport Corporation. I do not know. But MTC we call here in Chennai, right? But my evaluator heard it like empty seated bus. So yes, why do you stand in an empty seated bus? I said, no, that's not empty seated bus, it's an MTC bus. So your pronunciation also matters. So these are all the judging items that you also consider when you start scripting itself. Right from there, when you write your script, you can think how effective you are, how much value it is bringing to your audience, how is the speech organization very correct. Then even when you write your script, can you imagine, can these be the places where my physical body language can be good? Can my voice be modulated in this piece? No, at least that can be brought up later. But how correctly am I writing? Can this word be replaced by some other word? I would say the appropriate usage of words is very important. For example, a child wants a toy. She can ask her daddy, "Daddy, buy me that." So it's like ordering her father. Or, "Dad, buy me that." That is the ordering. So the girl ordered her father. It can be like, "Dad, can you buy that?" So it is that the girl asking her dad. So depending on the words, then it can be like the girl has asked her father, "Daddy, can you please buy me that?" Now it is like she's pleading her father. So every situation is the situation is the same. The girl asking a toy or requesting a toy from her father. But how did she ask it? Did she demand? Did she request? Or did she just ask? Those words change the entire meaning of what you're trying to convey. So use appropriate words. Your word selections are very keen to share or to bring or to convey what your thoughts in your mind or to the audience. So these are the judging items that you should consider while you're scripting your humorous speech. So these are the simple tactics that I follow. These are some of the messages that I can share with you from my experience in Toastmasters and in Humorous. Do we have any other questions?
Hi, Athila. I had one question. So,
Yes, Priya ma'am.
so with respect to humor, right? Sometimes I can take your content and deliver. People might laugh when you deliver it, and people might not laugh when I deliver it. The same script. That also can happen, right? So,
Yeah.
so is there something we have to really focus on the delivery? Considering that all contestants have the same content and the script, how the delivery will get us move ahead or score more?
As I said earlier, Priya ma'am, your, I would say the delivery is what I am more concerned about. Initially, during my Toastmaster journey, I don't even move my body a lot. So it was how I started. But then people advised me, or during my evaluators or all, you should relax yourself a bit. For audience to enjoy your script, for them to take it to their heart, for you to reach their heart, it's how you deliver it. The content, no matter what, will be there. But how you deliver? Have you seen one of the Mahatriya? If you have seen, I just saw that video yesterday. What we see has more impact than what you hear. For instance, I would like to turn, this is his action. If you can please turn on your video, I can do that exercise for you. Few people turn on your video, or at least I can see your hands. Keep your hands like this and unmute yourself too, please. Thank you, Yavana. Thank you, Raghav sir. So when I say 1, 2, 3, go, you're going to clap. Can we do that exercise? 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3. I didn't say a go. So what you see has more impact than what you hear. So that's why the delivery plays a major role. I can just say my content, but how the way you present it, how you deliver it, has more reception in the audience. So that is where you stand away different than someone who has a very similar content. Everyone comes in with a great content, but the key factor that can differentiate you from the rest of your competence, or how the way you present, what's your voice modulation, how confident are you. So the delivery plays a key factor in differentiating all this, Priya ma'am.
Thank you so much. We have
Yes,
5 more
Sriram.
minutes
Toastmaster
to
Sriram.
ask the question.
First off, thanks for that wonderful session, Athila. That
Thank
was
you.
wonderful. My actually doubt, in fact, I would actually will ask your suggestion as well. When we actually try to use any anecdote or even any small statements from different movies, maybe the audience might be a combined, even though there could be a majority of particular language, but there could be multiple language people as well. Would you usually suggest that kind of, even you in your example, you mentioned about Italy vada dosa as from the hotel. So how much can we use that, or how much would that be relevant to the content, or what would you suggest actually?
For humorous, I suggest, that's my personal opinion, you can use to some extent the regional jokes, not Tamil, I would say, but you can have a tint of it. In my humor, if you have seen the movie, I forgot that Sandanam's movie, the ghost movie that recently came, there will be this comedian, Redin Kingsley, who asks, Idliya, Dosaya, Idliya, Dosaya. He thinks, right? I forgot the movie. I'm so bad in remembering movies these days. I've diverted my attention from there. So that is the regional thing. Many people are always are familiar with that comedy when he asks, idliya, dosaya, idli sabdava, dosa sabdava. So I compare the same, chicken biryani, mutton biryani, chicken biryani, mutton biryani. In my script, when the pregnant lady wants to eat, so to some extent you can use in humorous because humorous doesn't go beyond the district level. All right. So most of your audiences are in your district, and mostly, especially in our district so far, is mostly our own region people. To some extent, you can use it, but it is best if you don't. It is best if you don't. But definitely for international speech contest, please refrain. It is always better if you refrain from using it. But I wouldn't usually use in international speech contest at all. There are always a lot better ways to express ourselves than to take the gimmick from movies and all.
Sure, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Priya ma'am, I think audiences are exhausted asking questions. I'm good.
Any other question?
And one key point I missed to tell, humor, please try to keep your jokes as simple as that. Don't tell a joke that audience has to think a lot and ask. We don't have time, otherwise I would have told a joke that would so tell your joke very simple. Don't make the simple so complex that your audience has to think and then understand, oh, this is how the joke is. So don't make it that complicated. Make it simple and straight.
Sometimes it becomes like explaining a joke. So
Yeah.
that is also something like making the joke crisp so that people process it and smile on
Yes.
it rather than we explaining the joke. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for that input.
Yeah.
And also how to find the balance. Sometimes they ask to slow down so that the humor can reach. Sometimes they say don't wait for the audience to laugh for every joke. Don't wait for their validation. If they're not laughing for a joke, you have to keep moving. Sometimes we deliver it too fast that the audience are not even able to get where the humor was. So it's
yes. I got the same feedback, Priya ma'am, even after the final contest also I got the same feedback, though I had considered all this. Be it ISC or humorous speech, pauses are very important for your funny content or for your serious content to reach the audience. It will take a second for them. The pauses are very important because that is the moment when your brain processes whatever it has heard. And then when you say a twist, then when you say a message, it will reach them. Because that the pause, that 1 second of gap is very crucial because brain can do wonders. It will all think of something, and the next thing that you're going to say can be really funny that people will burst at laughter. So that is with respect to pauses. Now, to answer your question, Priyamam, the answers no. That is why I said you give your speech to multiple audience. So you can assess your audience. If you give in 2-3 clubs, you can assess where people are responding more. You yourself know my audience laughed a little more for this joke. So you can balance your script in such a way, or you can time your script in such a way that you can leave a 2 or 3 second pauses when you expect laughter from your audience. You can reduce or shorten your script considering all that in your speech. So when humorous speech, especially when you try, this is very funny. You yourself will guess. People will laugh for this definitely. This can be a little laughter. This can be a laughter of few more seconds. So plan it in such a way. But as you said, we cannot have the luxury of letting the audience laugh forever. That anyway will come where we are forced to move to the next script, next joke, even when people are still laughing. But I would say you consider all these factors in your script. Let be a script for 6 minutes, within 6 minutes, around 6 minutes. So you have that 1 minute of for your audience to pick the laugh to laugh.
Thank you. And I had another question, like the repetitions, right? So I had humor in one of the speeches where I said, Arasan soap, romba romba nalla soap, in excitement. And then I said, Arasan soap, konjam sumarana soap, Arasan soap, romba mosamana soap, something like that. In the beginning, everybody laughed. Then again, when I repeated it towards the end, it was already 3 times, and then the 4th time. So it didn't kindle any laughter. So like how much is too much? Yeah, but sometimes when you tell a different story and then again connect to that punchline kind of humor, people laugh. But sometimes you repeat the same thing, they get bored. So where is that? How much is too much? That is my question. In repetition.
I always believe in the 3 rule. So they say, even if you want to, in Toastmaster script, even if you want to tell your life instances, have only 3 stories, not more than that. I believe 3 times is okay, definitely not more than that. But if there are certain scripts where there will be a tagline where they use in various parts of the script that the audiences are so used to that they themselves start telling. But if it has that kind of impact on the audience, it is good. But that too, not one after the other. It can be at the end of every story. It can be at the end of every piece of information that you want to pass on. That is good. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி repeatedly if you say, that might not go well with the audience.
Any other questions from the participants? You're all remaining quiet. I don't know why. They turned off their videos also. Hello.
They are started to think seriously about their humor script.
So that was another question. Like we worry a lot about the content, right? What do I write? Whether it is funny, where do I take inspiration from? Even if you noticed, most of the questions are around the content. But many don't even move past the content, right? We always think there is less time or less focus on the delivery. Should it be that way, or how do we should we spend more time on the content or on the delivery?
Everywhere content is the king, Priya ma'am. Only when your content is strong enough, you can even deliver it in a funny way. I would say they are both goes together, because only when you have scripted in such a way that it can have the body language, it can have the provisions for using your voice modulation, but content is the king. That is the key. These are all some toppings. They're just toppings, to enrich your taste. But biryani is biryani. On top of that, this mint leaves, all those additional bay leaves and all brings flavor, much more flavor. As simple as that.
Okay, are there any other questions? Thank you so much, Toastmaster.
I hope the session was useful. And thanks, Priya ma'am, for this opportunity. And I wish everyone here the very best in this upcoming Humorous Speech Contest. I would like to see the winners from this group.
Thank you so much. And if any of you missed the Discover 2024 Athila's speech, definitely you missed a lot. How she made a topic that is gender specific, but she made sure everybody was included and everybody could laugh. That was great. Thank you so much for your speech, and thank you for coming here and inspiring us all. I'm sure a lot of them took a lot of tips to go get started with their content and delivery and their practicing. It was very insightful. I learned a lot of things. I myself have thought humor is not for me. I can do a spontaneous, natural humor when I talk to people, but not go to the stage and deliver a humorous speech. Probably I'll have to challenge myself in that area. And it's very inspiring to see that you got on till to the district stage in your second year of attempt. And we will make sure we all write our scripts not just before the contest, but very much well ahead before the contest, so that we will have enough time to put it aside, come back and take a look, rewrite the script, and do all the tinkering work and take it to the next level. Thank you, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, 2 kids, job, and coming here and inspiring other Toastmasters. You don't have to do this, but you are willing to do this. Thank you for your kind heart and beautiful smile and inspiring us all today. Thank you so much, and we'll keep coming back to you. And I will also like to hear from people after they do their club area level, division, go to district, and then give that credit back to Athila. There was Athila Nabin. It was Athila Nabin who broke that bubble, the poof and pop. Yeah, we'll give it a year time, a year or two, and I'm sure so many will come. And if you were asking for your number and email, maybe if you're comfortable, you can drop it in the chat. And keep inspiring us, keep delivering the speeches, keep contesting in the humorous contest until you get to become the district champion. Wishing you all the best on behalf of the entire team here.
Thank you so much, Priya ma'am. Toastmasters has given me a lot. It's a time to give back a little. I hope the tips were helpful. I could see Usha ma'am all laughing, and that gives me joy.
Yeah, there
Thank
are no
you so much.
emoji buttons. Otherwise, I will be putting some emoji button. I will next time ask them to enable the emoji buttons so that we can put some emoji, heart emoji, thumbs up, thank you, and all that, so that the discussion becomes lively and some emotions get expressed. There are some thank you messages in the chat as well. It was very helpful. Thanks, Toastmaster Athila. Nice analogies and funny, witty, and useful tips. Thank you so much, Athila. It was very helpful. Best session, much useful tips. Thanks. Very useful session. Thank you, Toastmaster Athila, for giving us the blueprint to crack humorous contest. Winner will get biryani made, especially by Toastmaster Athila. Thank you so much. And
Okay, that's the deal. That's the deal. Let me see.
so let's see who is getting the biryani from Toastmaster Athila. I'll make a note of your email ID and phone number, and I will also pass it on. Thank you, everyone. See you all as bearing all the trophies, your club level, winner trophies, area level, division level, and district level trophies. Yeah, go rock that stage. Thank you, and bye. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone, for your
Bye.
kind words.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye.